Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are actually going to be transporting you to a very specific time and place. I want you to try and picture the mid-2000s,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
right? We're talking about, the era of the Nokia brick phone, chunky highlights, and really a world before Instagram or TikTok completely reshaped how teenagers interact and, frankly, how they bully each other.
Mm.
We are heading to Cork, Ireland, specifically January 2005.
It's a setting that feels almost vintage now, doesn't it? But the emotions, the raw intensity of that teenage experience, that is completely timeless. And the source material we are covering today really captures that intensity better than almost anything we've read recently. We're doing a deep dive into Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh.
Now, I have to be completely honest with you. If you just glance at the cover or read the back of this book, you might think, okay, I know this song. It's the shy, invisible girl from the wrong side of the tracks meeting the incredibly popular star athlete boy. You might be expecting a standard, fluffy high school romance.
And you would be wrong.
Entirely wrong.
Or at the very least, you'd be missing about 90% of what makes this story actually matter. Because as we went through the materials, the text, the character profiles, the setting analysis, it became immediately clear that this is not just a romance, it is a survival story.
Absolutely. It's gritty, it's painful, it deals with severe trauma, domestic abuse, class warfare, and even the physical agony of elite sports. It's really a collision between two very different worlds.
And our mission today is to unpack exactly how Binding 13 takes those familiar tropes, the jock and the wallflower, and just deconstructs them until all that's left is the raw humanity underneath. We're going to look at Shannon Lynch, a girl who is actively trying to disappear, and Johnny Kavanagh, a boy who is basically being crushed by his own visibility.
But before we meet the players, we have to talk about the game and the title, Binding 13. It's a cool title, but it's doing a lot of heavy lifting, isn't it?
It really is. It's actually a double entendre that sits right at the very heart of the book's conflict. To understand it, you have to understand rugby, because in this book, rugby isn't just a sport. It's a religion. It's a currency.
So let's unpack the 13 part first.
Yeah.
That refers to Johnny, right?
Correct. Johnny Kavanagh is the captain of the Thomond College rugby team. He plays the position of outside center, which wears the number 13 jersey. Now, for those of you who don't follow rugby, the outside center is a really crucial role. They are often the defensive leader in the back line. They have to make the hard tackles. They have to organize the defense. It's a high-pressure, high-visibility position.
And then there's the word binding.
Right, and this is where it gets technical and metaphorical. In rugby, binding refers to how players connect to each other in a scrum or a ruck. You literally grab the jersey of the man next to you, you bind onto them to create a unified force. If the binding is loose, the formation collapses, you get hurt. So in a positive sense, binding implies strength, support, holding the line when the pressure is on.
It's a beautiful metaphor for a relationship, really. Two people holding each other up.
Ideally, yes, but, and here is where it gets really interesting, the book twists this meaning. In the social ecosystem of Thomond College, Binding 13 has a much nastier definition.
Oh, right. This is the Operation Binding 13 we read about in the notes.
Unfortunately, yes. This is a window into the cruelty of the setting. Operation Binding 13 is a game invented by the senior girls, the sixth years. The objective, to be the girl who binds with Johnny Kavanagh.
And by bind, they mean hook up.
Exactly. It turns Johnny into a prize, a trophy. To these girls, he isn't a human being with feelings or pressures. He's a conquest, a status symbol. So the title gives us this immediate tension. Is binding about connection and support, or is it about predation and objectification?
That is such a fascinating setup. It frames the romance as a battlefield from day one.
Speaking of battlefields, let's set the scene a bit more. We have two main locations here, Thomond College and Ballylagan, and they might as well be on different planets. They are geographically close, about 15 miles apart, but socioeconomically, there is an ocean between them. Thomond College is the fortress. It's a private, elite, fee-paying school.
Think blazers, crests, and parents dropping kids off in Mercedes.
Exactly. It's the kind of place where money solves problems. The source text actually mentions brown envelopes bribes, essentially being slipped to the administration to ensure certain students get into the right classes or get away with trouble. It's a world of extreme privilege, and the rugby team are the gods of this world. The principal, Mr. Toomey, seems to care more about the senior cup than he does about education.
And then on the flip side, we have Ballylagan.
The wrong side of the tracks. Ballylagan is a council estate area. It's where our protagonist, Shannon, lives. Her previous school, Ballylaggan Community School, or BCS, is described as overcrowded, underfunded, and incredibly rough. It's a place where you literally have to fight to survive.
And the author, Chloe Walsh, she's from Cork, right?
She is. And that authenticity bleeds through every single page. You can hear it in the dialogue. The slang is highly specific, calling people lang balls or gums. The atmosphere feels lived in. It doesn't feel like, an American trying to write Ireland. It feels like you are eavesdropping on a bus in Cork in 2005.
So into this deeply divided world walks Shannon Lynch. She's transferring to Tommen in January, which is already a nightmare for any teenager moving mid-year. When we meet her, she's really not okay.
She is in a state of physiological collapse. The descriptions of Shannon are genuinely concerning. She's just turned 16, but the text repeatedly emphasizes that she looks much, much younger. She's tiny, about 5'2", but she feels smaller.
She describes herself as an implant in her new uniform because it's several sizes too big. She mentions having fried eggs for breasts and just being generally scrawny.
It's malnutrition, likely, but it's also severe stress. She is living in a constant state of high cortisol. She mentions anxiety vomiting frequently. She throws up on the morning of her first day. Her body is physically rejecting the reality she lives in. She's in fight-or-flight mode 24/7.
There's a line in her internal monologue that really stopped me in my tracks. She refers to herself as an old soul.
Yes. She says, I once read somewhere that we mature with damage, not with age.
We mature with damage. That's incredibly heavy.
It's a profound, tragic observation for a 16-year-old to make. She believes she is an old-age pensioner in the emotional stakes because of what she has endured. She looks at her peers, girls worrying about lip gloss, or boys, or who is sitting where at lunch, and she feels like an alien. She has no interest in those things because she is focused entirely on survival.
And she explicitly says she has no interest in boys.
Why would she? In her experience, love equals violence. She sees relationships as a trap. She just wants to be invisible. She wants to be a ghost.
But she's not just a ghost because she's shy. She's a ghost because she's been hunted. She didn't move schools just for a change of scenery. She was fleeing.
She was a refugee from her old school. The bullying she endured at BCS was systematic torture. It wasn't just name-calling, though there was plenty of that. The boys labeled her a frigate, which is slang for a girl who hasn't done anything sexually, or a tranny because she was so withdrawn and physically underdeveloped.
But the girls were the violent ones.
The girls were sadistic. The source material outlines 3 specific incidents that finally broke her. First, the ponytail incident.
In home economics.
Right. Imagine sitting in class and the girls behind you take kitchen scissors and just hack off your ponytail. Just cut it off and wave it around like a trophy. It's a profound violation of your body.
And then the locker room incident.
They took a photo of her in her underwear with a camera phone. Remember, in 2005, this was new technology. There were no laws about revenge porn or cyberbullying yet. They circulated that photo around the entire school.
That is actual nightmare fuel for a teenager.
It drove her to hide in a toilet stall and seriously contemplate suicide. She admits she stood there and thought about ending it, but she says she was too much of a coward to go through with it. That self-loathing is just heartbreaking.
And the final straw was the physical beating.
A group of girls attacked her based on a complete lie that she was chasing someone's boyfriend. They beat her until her nose bled and her uniform was ripped. That was the breaking point. Her mother, who we will discuss, finally took action. She took out a credit union loan, which is a massive financial burden for them to pay the fees for Tommen.
It was a rescue mission.
It was. But escaping the school doesn't fix the real problem, because the school wasn't the core source of the trauma. The source is at home.
We have to talk about the Lynch household, specifically Teddy Lynch.
Teddy Lynch is the primary antagonist of this life. He is Shannon's father, but he is a monster. He is unemployed, a raging alcoholic, and violently abusive. But what makes him so terrifying isn't just the violence. It's the specificity of his hatred.
He targets them.
He specifically hates the children who show weakness or difference. He calls Shannon a mouth to feed, tells her she's useless. But his hatred has a history. We learn about Darren,
The oldest brother.
the brother who isn't there anymore. Darren was gay, and Teddy is virulently, violently homophobic. 5 years before our story starts, Teddy beat Darren and threw him out of the house. Shannon hasn't seen him since. Darren was her original protector. When he left, Shannon became the primary target for that displaced rage.
So now the protector role falls to Joey.
Joey is the tragic hero of the family. He's the second oldest. He's a hurling star. He's popular. He's handsome. He has all the social capital Shannon lacks. But at home, he is the human shield. He is constantly stepping in between his father's fists and his siblings. He's carrying the weight of the entire family on his teenage shoulders.
And then there's the ma'am.
The ma'am is, well, she's complicated. The text describes her as weak and weary. She loves her kids, undeniably. But she is completely beaten down by Teddy. She enables him to keep the peace. She hides the bruises. She turns up the TV when the shouting starts.
Which, for Shannon, must feel like a massive betrayal.
It teaches her a terrible lesson. Adults will not save you. The people who are supposed to protect you will watch you bleed just to keep the quiet. You are entirely on your own.
So you have this girl, Shannon. She's essentially a feral, frightened animal walking into a school full of apex predators. She just wants to survive the day. And then she literally collides with the king of the jungle.
Enter Johnny Kavanagh.
The golden boy.
On the surface, yes. He is 17, turning 18. He drives a Land Rover. He's the captain of the senior cup team. He is wealthy, handsome, and universally worshipped. He walks through the halls of Tommen like a god.
And this is why I love the dual perspective of the book so much. We get inside his head immediately. And it's not what you expect at all.
No, it's a shocking contrast. The world sees a superhero. We see a boy who is physically falling apart.
He is in so much pain.
Chronic, debilitating pain. He is holding himself together with painkillers and ice packs. He has an illegal stamp injury on his back, stud marks from a dirty player's boot. He has stitches. But the big secret is a groin and abdominal injury.
It's an athletic pubalgia, right? A sports hernia.
Yes. And if you know anything about that injury, it was pure agony. It affects your core, your ability to run, to twist. Every movement is fire. But he is hiding it. He's hiding it from his coaches, his parents, even his teammates mostly.
Why? I mean, why not just take a month off? He's the star. He has absolutely nothing to prove.
Because he's controlled. This is the exact word he uses. His life is not his own. He feels like a product. He has the academy, which is the elite professional rugby pathway, watching him. His parents treat his career like an investment portfolio. His coach rides him relentlessly.
He feels like if he stops playing, he just disappears.
Exactly. His identity is entirely wrapped up in being number 13. Without the jersey, who is he? He's just a lonely kid in a big empty house.
That's a really fascinating parallel. Shannon is trapped in a small, crowded house full of violence. Johnny is trapped in a massive, empty house full of silence.
His parents are always traveling for business. He comes home to an empty mansion. Shannon comes home to a war zone. They're both incredibly lonely, just in opposite ways.
So let's talk about the meet cute, or as I like to call it, the meet concussion.
It disrupts the romance trope perfectly. Shannon is walking near the pitch during her first week. She has her headphones on, probably listening to a CD player, given the era. She doesn't know anything about rugby. She doesn't know who Johnny Kavanagh is.
Which is key. She's not looking at him.
She's the only girl in school not looking at him. And then Johnny kicks a ball for touch. He shanks it. It flies completely off court.
And creates a collision.
It smashes right into the side of Shannon's head.
Lights out.
She drops like a stone. And this is the catalyst. Johnny runs over. He's horrified. He's used to girls chasing him or people wanting something from him. But he's just physically assaulted this tiny, fragile girl.
He carries her to the nurse. And this sets off a huge chain reaction. Shannon's mother actually shows up to the school.
She does. And in a rare moment of spine, she demands Johnny be suspended. She assumes, based on Shannon's history, that this was bullying. That he hit her on purpose.
It's ironic, really. She accuses the one boy who wants to help Shannon of bullying while living with the man who is actually destroying her.
It creates a forbidden dynamic right away. The school tells Johnny to stay away from the Lynch girl. Do not go near her.
But Johnny Kavanagh is not used to being told no.
And he's obsessed, not just romantically, but with a need to fix what he broke. He feels intense guilt. So he does something, well, questionable.
A little unethical.
Highly unethical. He goes to the school office, he flirts with the secretary, uses that Kavanagh charm, and gets access to Shannon's permanent file.
Now, in the real world, this is a massive privacy violation. This is stalker behavior.
Oh, absolutely. If this were a thriller, this would be the moment you call the police. But in the context of the romance genre, it serves a specific narrative purpose. He reads the file, he sees the reports from the old school.
He reads about the ponytail, the photos.
And suddenly, his perspective shifts completely. She's not just a clumsy girl he hit with a ball. She is a victim. He realizes she is being hunted. And that triggers his hero complex. He decides right then and there that he is going to be the predator that scares away the other predators.
He decides to be her shield.
No one touches her again. That's the mindset.
Let's talk about how they actually bond. Because Shannon is terrified of him at first. She thinks he's just another boy who will hurt her.
It's a slow burn. It's built on small, incremental moments of trust. But there is one scene that stands out as the major turning point. The jersey scene.
Oh, this is iconic.
It is. Shannon gets her period at school, but because of her malnutrition and the extreme stress, her cycle has been dormant. She hasn't had a period in ages, so when it comes, it's a shock. A physical shock.
And a total mess.
A disaster. She bleeds through her uniform skirt in the middle of the hallway. She is freezing, she is in pain, and she is humiliated. It is the ultimate teenage nightmare.
And Johnny finds her.
He finds her huddled there. And this is the test. A typical teenage boy might laugh, he might run away, he might be grossed out.
But Johnny
doesn't even flinch. He takes off his rugby jersey, that famous number 13 shirt, literally the most recognizable garment in the entire school, and he ties it around her waist.
It swallows her whole...
She's tiny, remember? The sleeves are dragging on the floor. It covers the stain completely, but symbolically, it brands her.
He walks her out of school wearing his colors.
In a tribal environment like a rugby school, wearing the captain's jersey is a massive statement. It's a declaration of protection. He is telling the entire school, she is with me. Back off.
And the best part is, Shannon has no clue.
She just thinks he's being nice. She's thinking, thank God I didn't ruin my uniform. She doesn't understand the social currency he just draped over her shoulders, which makes him like her even more. She doesn't want the status. She just needed a coat.
He takes her to Biddy's, the rugby pub. This is his sanctuary. And eventually, she ends up at his house. This leads to a scene that I think is crucial for understanding their psychology.
The scene in the bedroom, Johnny gets a phone call. He learns that his mother has had a miscarriage.
It's a heavy moment. He's devastated.
He shares this with Shannon. It's a moment of deep vulnerability for him. But I want listeners to pay attention to Shannon's internal reaction here. It is dark.
She actually feels relief.
Yes. And we need to clarify this. She isn't happy the baby died. She isn't malicious at all. She thinks, good, the baby won't have to grow up.
The baby won't be born into a world of pain.
Exactly. To Shannon, life is suffering. Existence is punishment. So to her, never being born is a mercy. It saves the child from the inevitable trauma of living.
That is such a bleak worldview for a 16-year-old.
It really highlights the gap between them. Johnny is mourning the potential of life. Shannon is surviving the reality of it.
And then the tension breaks in the most awkward way possible. Johnny's mom walks in.
Mrs. Kavanagh. She is the archetype of the wealthy, slightly overbearing Irish mother. She finds Shannon hiding in the room. There's a dog involved, Sookie, creating chaos. And instead of being angry, she goes straight into mom mode.
She starts grilling Johnny about sex.
In front of Shannon. She's asking if they are using protection, lecturing him about respect and being careful. It is mortifying for them. But for you reading it, it serves a real purpose.
It shows the massive difference in their homes.
Johnny's mother is intrusive, sure. She's annoying. But she cares. She is worried about his soul, his safety, his future. Shannon is sitting there watching this and thinking, if my dad found me with a boy, I wouldn't get a lecture. I'd be in the hospital.
It highlights that Johnny's problems, while very real, are problems of privilege. Shannon's problems are literal existential threats. We have to mention the supporting cast because they bring so much life to the story. You really can't talk about Binding 13 without talking about Gibbsy.
Gerard Gibbsy Gibson, the legend.
He is definitely the fan favorite.
For a good reason. Gibbsy is Johnny's best friend. He plays flanker, and he is pure chaotic energy. He walks his cat on a leash.
A cat on a leash.
He renames the contacts in Johnny's phone. He changes Johnny's mom to Sugar Tits and himself to King Clit.
I laughed out loud at King Clit. It's so juvenile, but it's just so funny.
It is. But Gibbsy isn't just the clown. The text hints heavily that his humor is a shield. He uses jokes to deflect pain. He's fiercely protective of Johnny. He's the only one who really knows how hurt Johnny is. He watches Johnny's back, literally and metaphorically.
And Shannon has her own squad too, Claire and Lizzie.
Claire is the bubbly optimist. She loves the rugby boys. She wants to be part of that glittery world. Lizzie is the cynic. She's the voice of reason. She's been burned by a boy named Pierce, lost her virginity in a car, and regrets it deeply. She is constantly warning Shannon, guard your heart. These boys will destroy you.
She's like the Greek chorus of doom.
She is. But Shannon needs that balance. Claire gives her hope, and Lizzie gives her armor.
So everything seems to be moving toward a relationship. They are bonding. But we need a climax. And it comes in the form of the rumor finally reaching Shannon.
Bella Wilkinson, Johnny's ex-fling, she corners Shannon and drops the bomb. She tells her all about Operation Binding 13.
Basically saying, he's only talking to you to win a bet.
And because Shannon has zero self-worth, she believes it instantly. It confirms what she already suspects. I am unlovable, I am a joke. Of course he doesn't like me, it's a game.
She tries to run. But circumstances intervene. The rugby team is heading to Dublin for a match, and Shannon gets dragged along.
Her mom signs the permission slip, which is another small act of defiance against the father, so Shannon is on the bus.
And on this trip, Johnny tries to fix things.
He sits with her, he realizes she knows. And he tries to reclaim the narrative. He draws a diagram of the rugby pitch on a piece of paper. He explains his position, number 13, and he explains the real meaning of binding.
He tells her it means support.
It means I've got your back. It means we hold each other up. He tries to take the word back from the bullies and give it to her as a promise.
It's a beautiful moment. It feels like they are going to be okay. But then the game starts.
And Johnny's body finally quits. You can only ignore biology for so long. He pushes too hard. The adrenaline wears off. The hernia, the infection, it all explodes. He collapses on the field.
It turns into a major medical emergency.
A serious one. He's rushed to a hospital in Dublin. And Shannon makes a choice. She stays.
She doesn't get on the bus home.
She rides in the ambulance. She holds his hand. She refuses to leave him. This is her moment of bravery. She sees him vulnerable, not the golden boy, but a scared, broken kid in a hospital bed. And that levels the playing field. She confesses to Claire that she loves him.
It's the absolute peak of the romance. But the clock is ticking.
The game ran over. The hospital took hours. They are late getting back to Cork.
And Shannon has to go home.
This brings us to the most difficult part of the deep dive. We have to talk about the return home. Because the transition from the safety of the hospital to the horror of the Lynch house is jarring.
Shannon walks in, and Teddy Lynch is waiting.
He is drunk. But worse, he has heard rumors. Small towns talk. He's heard that Shannon was in Dublin with the rugby team.
And his mind goes straight to the gutter.
He calls her a whore. He accuses her of shaming the family. And he unleashes on her. We need to be clear about the scene for you listening. It is brutal. It is not a slap. It is a full beatdown.
The text describes him punching her, kicking her.
He drags her by her hair across the kitchen floor. It is visceral.
Her little brother, Todd, actually tries to stop him.
Todd is only 11. He tries to jump on his father's back. It's a heroic, tragic image, a child trying to fight a monster to save his sister.
And Teddy just throws him off.
Like a rag doll. Shannon is on the floor, she's being kicked, and here the author does something fascinating with the psychology. Shannon dissociates.
She leaves her body.
She closes her eyes, she stops feeling the boots, and she goes to Johnny. Inside her head, she replays his voice. I love you, you're okay. She wraps herself in the memory of his love to block out the sensation of her father's hate.
She literally thinks she is dying.
She sees the white light, she feels a warmth, and honestly, she welcomes it. She is ready to go. She thinks finally it's over.
But it's not over. Because the door bursts open.
Yo!
The younger brothers are screaming, he's coming! Joey is coming!
Joey runs in. He tackles the father. He physically pulls him off Shannon. The scene is chaotic, violent, and loud.
And then silence. Shannon is broken on the floor. The mother is weeping in the corner. And Joey stands up.
And he delivers the ultimatum that the whole book has been building toward. He looks at his mother, the enabler, the peacekeeper, and he says, make a choice, ma'am. Him or us.
Him or us.
It's a gut punch. He is forcing her to look at the blood on the floor and decide. You can keep your husband or you can keep your children. You cannot have both anymore.
And that is exactly where the book ends.
That is the cliffhanger. We are left in the wreckage. We don't know if Shannon survives. We don't know what the mother chooses. We don't know if Johnny, lying in a hospital bed in Dublin, has any idea what is happening to the girl he promised to protect.
It is incredibly heavy. I mean, my heart was racing just reading it.
It is. But it's necessary. If the book ended with them kissing and everything being fine, it would be a lie. It would be dishonest about the reality of abuse.
So looking back at the mission we set out at the start, does Binding 13 succeed in deconstructing the romance trope?
I think it does. It challenges the idea that love cures trauma. Johnny loves Shannon. He gave her his jersey. He fought for her. But he couldn't stop her father. His love didn't save her from the physical reality of her abuse.
It suggests that saving someone isn't about romantic gestures. It's about systemic change. It's about removing the abuser.
Exactly. And it contrasts their pain beautifully. Johnny's pain is the pain of glory. He breaks his body to be a hero. It is voluntary. Shannon's pain is the pain of shame. She is broken to be kept small. It is involuntary.
It really makes you rethink the labels. The jock isn't invincible. He's fragile. The nerd isn't just shy. She's surviving a war.
They are mirrors of each other, both in pain, both hiding it, both failed by the adults who are supposed to protect them.
I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought about that line Shannon used. We mature with damage, not with age. Do you think she's right?
I think that is the central tragedy of the book. Shannon thinks she's mature because she has endured pain. But trauma doesn't make you mature, it makes you vigilant. It steals your childhood and replaces it with survival instincts. Shannon isn't a grown-up, she's a child soldier in her own home.
That is a powerful distinction. Maturity versus vigilance.
And the provocative question for you to explore on your own, because thankfully there is a sequel, Keeping 13, is this. Can two people who are constantly in survival mode ever actually build a life? Or are they just trauma bonding in the dark?
Well, we will have to wait for the next deep dive to find out.
Indeed. There is a long road ahead for Shannon and Johnny.
This has been a heavy one, but an important one. We've peeled back the layers of Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. If you decide to pick it up, be warned, bring tissues.
And maybe a stress ball. You'll need it.
Thank you for diving in with us today. Take care of yourselves, check on your friends, and remember, you never know what battle someone is fighting behind closed doors. We'll see you next time.